This is the ideal Vogue combination boiler, and is possibly my favourite boiler. It is also our best-selling boiler on our shop, Tomcat Plumbing and Heating Supplies.co.uk. Now in this video what I'm going to do is just go through why this is my favourite boiler and what changes have happened to this boiler along the way. So let's get on with it. Now the ideal Vogue comes as a combi boiler or a system boiler. Now the sizes for the combi are 26, 32 and 40 kilowatt outputs. But the system boiler outputs are 15, 18, 26 and 32 kilowatts. Now the Vogue comes with a 10-year warranty out of the box. But if the installer is accredited with Ideal and they register the boiler on the portal, they can increase that to a 12-year warranty. The Vogue Max boilers also come with this filter in the box. Now the dimensions for this boiler are 740 millimeters high. It is 450 millimeters wide and it is 330 millimeters deep. Now you'll need 165 millimeters clearance at the top to get out the flue. You'll need 100 millimeter clearance down at the bottom and 25 millimeters either side. This boiler also weighs in at just over 35 kilograms for the 40 kilowatt model. Now Ideal released the Vogue boiler way back in 2012. This is actually a 2014 version of the boiler, but in 2017 Ideal introduced us to the Gen 2, where they made some slight alterations to the boiler. Now before we remove this cover, if we look on the outside, it looks exactly the same as the new one. Even when we drop the flap, that is still exactly the same, and this is laid out virtually identical to the new one. The only real change from the Gen 1 to the Gen 2 here is the screen. So the new screen is slightly bigger and is in colour. So that is just the differences on the outside. Taking the cover off is still the same. There's two screws under here and there's two clips, and this plastic cover just comes off. It's when we actually drop down this flap we see the major changes. Now if we look at the top, the turret, the flue elbow and the flue system, they're the same in the Gen 1 as the Gen 2. Even when we come down to the top of the heat exchanger, this is all exactly the same in both models. Even the spark generator is in the same location. It's just been slightly upgraded, the spark generator. Expansion vessel still in the same place and the same size, and the burner looks exactly the same on the Gen 1 as the Gen 2. So as we come down to the water set, this is where our biggest changes are. So first of all, you can see here the condensate trap is on the left hand side, whereas the new one is kind of in this area. If we look at the gas valve here is a 230 volt Honeywell gas valve. On the new one, it's only a 24 volt gas valve. To the right here where we've got the pump, this old pump is just a standard Grundfos 3-speed pump, whereas the new one is an ERP pump. Then if we look at the hydro block itself, you can see it's made of brass components, whereas the new one is all composite plastic. The secondary plate heat exchanger at a 35°C rise will give you 10.6 litres a minute for the 26 kilowatt boiler, 13.1 litres a minute for the 32 kilowatt boiler, and for the 40 kilowatt boiler it will give you 16.4 litres a minute, with a hot water temperature range from 40 degrees to 65 degrees. Now if we go to the right, you can now see here at the front we've got the low water pressure sensor. Then the red cap at the back is the pressure relief valve, and then the automatic air vent you can see is at the back there. Now on the new gen, the relief valve and the air vent have swapped around, and then the low water pressure sensor has moved from this side on the top of the pump to behind where this condensate trap is now. Now you can also see here just above the condensate trap is the diverter valve, whereas on the Gen 2 it has moved down here where the flow turbine is. So the flow turbine and the diverter valve are all on this side on the Gen 2. So huge changes made down at this water set. Now because of the changes at the top, we've also had some changes underneath here. The major one being the condensate has moved, so it's there, but the pipe layout is pretty much the same. Really same type of valves as well. We have had a change to the filling loop, the way that is, but other than that, it's pretty much the same underneath. Now the heat exchanger is pretty much the same in both generations of the boiler. It's the 2-pass stainless steel heat exchanger. Compatible controls, you can have the Halo Combi RF or the Halo Combi Wi-Fi. They also make the Halo Heat and System Wi-Fi for the system boiler. They also do the Halo Light RF, which is a single zone combi programmable room thermostat designed for landlords and tenants. But if you don't want the all singing and dancing Wi-Fi connected thermostat, you can just go for the standard RF electronic thermostat. Now that is the changes Ideal have made to their Vogue combination boiler from this Gen 1 to the Gen 2. Now don't forget, if you want to buy the Gen 2 Vogue, then you can get it from our shop at www.tomcatphs.co.uk, and you'll find we are quite competitive with our prices. And if you prefer the Gen 1 like I do, why don't you put in the comments and let me know which one you do prefer, the Gen 1 or the Gen 2. Anyway, hopefully you've liked the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.